Imagine London shrouded in fog, a thick, almost impenetrable mist that cloaks the city in an eerie silence. The air is damp and cold, and the only sounds are the distant clatter of horse-drawn carriages and the occasional murmur of voices. The fog wraps around the gaslights, creating halos of dim light that barely penetrate the darkness. Gaslight flickering on cobblestone streets, casting long, wavering shadows that dance and shift with every gust of wind. The streets are deserted, save for the occasional passerby hurrying home, their footsteps echoing in the stillness. Out of the darkness leaps a shadowy figure, moving with an unnatural grace and speed. He seems to appear out of nowhere, a fleeting glimpse of something otherworldly. He's tall and menacing with eyes that glow red like embers in the night. His presence sends a chill down the spine of anyone who sees him, a figure of pure terror. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. This is the reality that haunted the streets of Victorian London. This is Spring-Heeled Jack, a creature of Victorian nightmares, a figure so terrifying that his name became synonymous with fear and dread. For decades, stories of Spring-Heeled Jack terrorized London and beyond. He was said to appear suddenly, attacking his victims with claws of steel, and then vanishing into the night with a single bound. He was said to be incredibly strong and agile, capable of leaping over walls and rooftops with ease. His ability to escape capture only added to his legend. Some claimed he could breathe fire, a demonic figure with supernatural powers. Was he a demon, a devilish prankster, or something else entirely? The truth remains elusive, shrouded in the mists of time. But one thing is certain. Spring-Heeled Jack's legend has captivated and terrified for generations. His story has been passed down through the years, a tale of horror that refuses to fade. Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of Victorian terror, where the line between reality and nightmare is blurred, and the shadows hold secrets that have yet to be revealed. The story of Spring-Heeled Jack begins in 1837. London was a city on edge, grappling with social change and economic uncertainty. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, bringing with it both progress and turmoil. The streets were crowded, the air thick with smoke, and the gap between the rich and the poor was ever widening. Amidst this backdrop of tension and transformation, the city was ripe for tales of the extraordinary and the terrifying. It was the perfect breeding ground for fear and superstition. People were already on edge, and the unknown loomed large in their minds. Superstitions ran rampant, and the line between reality and myth was often blurred. In such an environment, it didn't take much for a story to take hold and spread like wildfire. The first reported sighting came from a young woman walking home in London's suburbs. She was alone, the night was dark, and the streets were eerily quiet. Suddenly, out of the shadows, a figure appeared. It was unlike anything she had ever seen before. She described a figure who jumped in front of her, breathed fire, and then vanished into the night. The encounter left her terrified and bewildered. She couldn't explain what she had seen, but the fear in her eyes was unmistakable. Her story quickly spread, and soon, others came forward with similar tales. Soon, similar stories began to surface across the city. People from all walks of life reported encounters with the mysterious figure. Some described him as a demon, others as a man with supernatural abilities. The sightings were varied, but the fear they instilled was universal. Newspapers latched onto the tale, eager to sell copies and captivate their readers. The sensationalized accounts of Jack's exploits were perfect fodder for the press. Headlines screamed of the mysterious figure terrorizing the city, and the public couldn't get enough. Publishing sensationalized accounts of Jack's exploits, the newspapers fueled the fire of fear and fascination. Each new report added to the legend, making it harder to distinguish fact from fiction. The more outlandish the story, the more people seemed to believe it. The public was both terrified and captivated. They gathered in groups, sharing stories and speculating about the true nature of Spring-Heeled Jack. Was he a ghost, a demon, or simply a man with a twisted sense of humor? The mystery only added to the allure. Was this a real threat, or an elaborate hoax? The question lingered in the air, with no clear answers in sight. Some believed it was a prank gone too far, while others were convinced that something more sinister was at play. The authorities were baffled, unable to provide any concrete explanations. The lines blurred as the legend grew. Each new sighting, each new story, added another layer to the myth. Spring-Heeled Jack became a symbol of the unknown, a figure that embodied the fears and anxieties of a city in flux. His legend has endured, a testament to the power of storytelling and the human imagination. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Spring-Heeled Jack. Until next time.